Welcome to Counselor's Corner. I'm Jeremy Counseller, Dean of Baylor Law School, and I am delighted to be joined today by Robby Holland, third-year law student here at Baylor Law School. Robby, first question I want to ask you is, does it upset you that I haven't called you Dr. Robby Holland or Robby Holland, MD, in my introduction of you?
No, but that's actually funny. I've had classmates wonder if when I get called on in class for like a cold call, if I was going to correct them, it's like, oh, Mr. Holland. No, it's doctor.
Have you corrected them? I think that's the right
not
move.
Not even close.
I am so fascinated because I've been aware that you're a medical doctor, now a third-year law student, and I've been aware of that for a long time, and I've wanted to ask you for the longest time, how do you and why do you make that journey from physician to lawyer?
It honestly is probably a little bit of a longer story, but the basics, I wanted to help people early on, and that's what drew me to medicine, and what drew me to emergency medicine specifically, which is what I'm board certified in. And I wanted people, when they had a problem, they came to me, right? You call 911, where do they take you? To me. And that's when I'm going to help solve the problem. I'm going to do something. I'm going to fix something. I'm going to get them to the right people if I can't do anything right now. But I'm there. I'm the resource. I also didn't want to be the type of doc that when I had kids, my kids' friends would come over. Oh, hey, Dr. Holland, I got this problem. It's like, I don't know about that, buddy. I only do the eye. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to be in that kind of situation. So it naturally led towards emergency medicine, and I had a fulfilling career. Made some good choices and was put in a financial situation where I could actually retire from medicine. And I did. Ended up getting some ownership into freestanding emergency rooms and started some businesses and had other things going on. But I wasn't quite fulfilled. And I had a good friend of mine, Chase Evans, who's a Baylor lawyer, and talking to him and thinking about what kind of options were out there. He's like, man, you should just go to law school. And it got me excited. And that's what it was. It was just the excitement. There's so many parallels between medicine and law with the concept, and especially emergency medicine. The idea, someone's coming into me again, same thing with the law. You got a problem. What are you doing? You're going in, seeking a solution. And I'm there. I'm developing the relationship, the rapport, and trying to figure things out. And yeah, I'm just excited.
So how has law school so far been different than what you expected or what you wanted, or maybe it's matched up well? I don't know, but I'm curious about your reaction to that.
No, I think I get that question and the comparison between med school
right.
and law school quite a bit. I will say, to do that one, the first year of law school is harder than the first year of medical school. No question. In med school, you're getting re-exposed to basic sciences, which you've already had, in college. So you're just doing it again, a little bit more thorough, et cetera. Starting to sprinkle in some medicine for you. But in law school, it's coming in and it's completely different. There's no shortcutting it. Tons of reading, learning what y'all are looking for. How to think. That's the common thing. And it's like you hear it. Yeah, you're just learning how to think, how to logically go through information. And yeah, so it was a lot more time, I think, and time intensive than I was expecting. But it's been a great experience.
Yeah. One of the things I find so interesting is that you have started the Plaintiffs Law student organization. Mm-hmm. I would think that as a physician, a plaintiff's lawyer is it's dogs and cats, right? Mm-hmm. So what drew you to want to do that? And it's a new organization. It's been very successful. You had a great panel discussion the other day with some plaintiffs lawyers, moderated by Professor Brewster. So it's off to a great start. But I'm curious about, do your doctor friends, what are you doing, man?
No, and that's one of the first questions I usually get is, you're planning on suing doctors? The short answer to that is no. But plaintiff's law was definitely a draw for me from the beginning. Again, kind of going back to that emergency medicine and what's familiar. In plaintiff's world, you think someone's had potentially the worst day of their life, right? And this bad experience. And what do? They need help. They come to you.
Yeah.
You're there to help that. You know, but now with this, I can help someone for the rest of their life. You know, I can make a change and impact that one person, but not just that one person, because what if it's a safety issue, a product thing? Now I'm impacting thousands of people. And that's huge. I mean, that to me was just, the concept of that was just so fulfilling versus, you know, I'm just, you know, sitting at a desk, plugging away, billing hours and trying to, you know, deny people compensation when they were wronged. So definitely a draw towards the plaintiff side in general. I was fortunate to be part of the mock trial team with AAJ this last spring with Dickinson. And
how'd that go, by the way?
That was amazing. It was an amazing experience. We won the national championship.
Yep.
So I was only a witness at the time, but apparently a very credible cop and technician. So it worked out. But no, it was a great experience. And traveling to Chicago, doing that, met a lot of people, even some of the judges and things that were at the competition as well that I've run into since then. And AAJ, as part of winning, they flew us out to the national convention. And so Anderson Tittle and I went and got to fly to the national convention, and it was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing how many people, and it started opening my eyes to, there's so many other avenues. It's, you know, plaintiff's work isn't just, you know, a car wreck thing. There's so many different things that I just had no idea about. And I think that's a common thing. You don't know what you don't know, right? And seeing that was like, wow, we don't know any of this stuff as students. So what better idea than to try to bring an organization to bring some awareness to the student population to let them choose, right? How are you supposed to make a decision, an educated decision on what you're going to do for the rest of your life if you don't have information?
Yeah.
So, you know, it just seemed to make sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got that experience, because it really is eye-opening. I remember when I was in law school, it's like you have a sense that you want to be a lawyer, but a lot of times we start law school, we don't even really know what that looks like. You probably had a better sense of at least what some lawyers do because of your business experience, your experience as a physician. But yeah, to get exposed to different things, it really is eye-opening. Is there, you've talked about some of these experiences, but is there one, maybe other than the AAJ experience, one experience in law school, in class or with an organization, that was really particularly impactful on you?
I don't know that there's one that necessarily just rises to the top. Baylor has been amazing by providing so many opportunities, exposures, you know, things to provide that education and awareness. And I think that that's one of the hallmarks for Baylor, is that the concept of trying to provide an education so that a student can come out and be practice ready. I see examples of that all the time, and that's what's amazing and impactful to me, especially being, you know, not a K through JD kid and just coming through. When I get out, I want to go, right? I want to start. I want to be able to do something. And while everybody's going to be a baby lawyer when you get out, but I want to hit the ground running. And I think it's been amazing to me, those experiences that Baylor has provided, trying to get us ready to go. Yeah.
One experience that you had this past summer was the St. Andrews program.
How was amazing.
How was that?
Yeah, that highly recommended completely. And honestly, it was amazing. I mean, I did some traveling beforehand as well, but
I should say this is our study abroad program in Scotland, in St. Andrews, Scotland. It's focused on advocacy, but yeah.
Very true. The education that you received there in such a short amount of time was amazing. The feedback, the advocacy skills, that, again, you know, I'd been on a team. I'd seen lots of things. There's a big difference between seeing and doing. And you really got to experience that there, that, you know, when you're stepping up and doing this and, you know, getting professors, you know, giving me feedback, and I'm like, this is my first time to ever try to cross somebody, like, you know, and but you're always going to have that first, right? And so trying to work through that and it was such a positive experience, beautiful location, amazing faculty, and such positivity.
Yeah.
Whenever they were giving feedback, and like I said, just very insightful feedback. I was impressed.
One thing that I really like about the program, aside from the things that you said, the beautiful location and the camaraderie amongst the faculty and the students, it's a rare opportunity. I mean, maybe the only opportunity where you go and you're studying advocacy and you don't have anything else on your plate at the time. Like when you were on a team, you have other things going on.
Correct.
So it's sort of one of the balls that you're balancing. But this really focuses you in on that one thing and enjoy yourself in Scotland, which is
Yes,
those two things
completely.
together really, I think, just a great combination. So I think you've said what you want to do with your law degree, made it pretty clear, but what do you think is the first step for you? Is it to join a plaintiff's firm? Is it to go out on your own?
That's a great question. It's something that I'm still, working on. Again, it's one of those, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I have from the beginning said same thing with when I went through medical school. I don't want to go in with blinders on. Because you're going to miss opportunities. So I've been blinders off. I'm constantly looking around, talking to people, networking, and trying to see, what's out there. I can tell you that I don't want to go to I'm not just looking for a job, right? I'm not looking for a 9-to-5, punching a clock, that type of thing. So I'm a more unique law student and looking for a more unique situation. And it may be that I end up just doing something on my own and trying to just make an impact in my community.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, moving now to the lightning round. Your answers to this have to be short, but I'm really curious about your answers to these questions. Okay, in your opinion, what is the best restaurant in Waco?
Moroso's.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Your favorite TV show of all time, assuming you've ever had a moment to watch some television?
I've had plenty of opportunity. Honestly, I'll go with Friends. It's just one of those ones that I can actually watch over and over again and still laugh at. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Favorite novel or work of nonfiction?
I don't have a one favorite. Jim Butcher is one of my favorite authors, and he's written quite a few things, but I've really gotten into kind of the fantasy genre and did a lot of reading towards the end of my career and in my short retirement.
Butcher is a fantasy writer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I like fantasy too. Do you have a personal motto, scripture, or quotation or phrase you draw on for strength or inspiration?
No, but I would say that I think I had one motto, it's never enough. I'm never doing enough. That's one of them, I'm never satisfied. So that's one of those kind of mottos, but one that I say all the time is it's all relative.
Yeah.
That tends to be my go-to phrase.
That's a very physician answer, I think.
It fits.
15 seconds or less, describe your dream vacation. Maybe you've already taken it.
Yeah, we could do it again. Honestly, it would be multiple locations with beautiful scenery. I loved floating down the river doing fly fishing in Montana. That was probably one of my favorites.
Okay. I understand you may have a question or two for me.
Yes, sir. So one of my questions would be, obviously I've experienced it in my career in medicine, but not necessarily in law. How do you balance work-life, when I still have kids? I've got a 12-year-old and 16-year-old boys and still raising them while doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that in law? What kind of tips or anything that you could give me or anybody else?
Yeah. For me in my own personal situation, the first thing I'd have to say is I've got a fantastic wife who is omnipresent for my kids. That's a choice that, she made. She was a school teacher, but then worked part-time. And so she's been always there. She's the rock for the kids. So I can't take a lot of credit on striking the balance, to be very candid with you. I also think work-life balance, I'm sure you probably experience this as a physician, it's not always in balance, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look over a long enough timeline, maybe there is some balance there, but are particular moments where, there is that client, there is that case, there is that project, and the balance is going to skew. And there may be other times where the balance tips back in favor of, you know, your kids and your family. One of the things that I think, and I don't know that my wife and I were intentional about this, but I think it's helped, is we've always talked to our kids about, you have a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've said, you have a job. Your job is school. Your job is this sport team
Right.
you're playing on. Your job is whatever this activity is. And they work hard. Kids today spend a lot of time on their things.
Well aware.
You know? Yeah, I'm sure. And so I think that helps them see, okay, right now, dad's job is to do this other thing. Mom's job is to do this, just like I was at a basketball tournament or a volleyball tournament all the time. And I think here's another thing, just very practical stuff that I think has been helpful. And again, my wife gets all the credit for this. A couple of things that we always done: read to our kids from the time we brought them home from the hospital until they could read on their own every night. And then the second thing was dinner around the table. Those are things that were sort of foundational that the kids could rely on, that I think have been helpful. But we're all busy. I mean, and not just adults, as you know. I mean, it's kids too. They're busy too.
No, completely. It's amazing how the world is changing and all the things that are there. Did want to ask about the beard.
Yeah.
I started, obviously I've been carrying mine the entire time, but when I started here, you had a beard.
Yep.
The only way I knew you. Then all of a sudden, next quarter, it was just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember why I shaved my beard, but I have over the years grown beards and then shaved them off. I remember one time in class, this was 10 or 12 years ago, I had long hair and this really sort of grizzly man beard. And I think it might have been spring break. I came back from spring break. I left class. I finished class before spring break, had the beard, the long hair. I come back on that Monday. I have cut my hair short and I'm clean shaven. And I walked into the class and the students were looking at me.
I could 100% see that, throwing them for a loop.
Is it the same person? And I just said to them, it's a big difference, right? And so, but I love having a beard. I mean, if I didn't do this job that I do now, where I've got to be on podcasts and on YouTube and stuff, I probably have a beard. One time I grew a beard out, and half my beard from this side was gray and the other half was brown. I was like, I look like a comic book villain.
That's funny.
So I immediately shaved that off. And then the next time, maybe 18 months later, it was consistently gray all the way through. I was like, I can live with that. Yeah. One rule that I have is if I'm on vacation, I do not shave. I do not shave. There will be another beard at some point, but yeah, I like having a beard. It's my natural state.
It's the natural state. I like that. That's good.
Yeah. Robby, thank you. Appreciate it.
No, thank you guys.
Proud of you. And
I definitely appreciate everything that, like I said, all the opportunities Baylor's given me. It's been an amazing time.
Good. Thanks for joining us.
No, thank you.